What would you do if your family, the ones who abandoned you, tried to erase you from their lives, only to have you walk back into their world more powerful than ever? Olivia Moore was abandoned at 18, cast aside by those who once claimed to love her, but fate had a different plan. At a lavish wedding, Olivia found herself face to face with the family who thought she'd faded into nothing. They had no idea who they were up against. Stay tuned to see how Olivia takes back control and makes them all regret ever thinking she was weak. Don't forget to subscribe for more incredible stories. At a lavish wedding, I unexpectedly found myself face to face with people who once deemed me worthless. The moment they laid eyes on me, the contempt was unmistakable. My mother sneered, her words sharp and cruel. "What is that useless girl doing here?" My sister crossed her arms, her lips curled in disdain. "You're not on the guest list." Just as her fiancé was about to usher me out, he froze. His eyes widened, his face drained of color, his voice faltered. "Wait, this woman is—" I simply smiled, letting the moment stretch. "You really don't know anything, do you? My name is Olivia Moore, and at 32, I just walked into a wedding that should have nothing to do with me. But fate has a twisted sense of humor. The people in this room, the ones who tossed me aside like garbage 14 years ago, still think I'm that helpless, unwanted girl. They expect me to be shocked, to feel humiliated, to beg for their approval. But I'm not. I'm not the Olivia they abandoned. I'm not the girl they told was worthless, that she'd never amount to anything. What they don't know is what I've built, what I've become. And as they sneer and whisper, as my mother glares and my sister smirks, they have no idea at all that the woman they just insulted is about to turn their perfect little world upside down. The air in the grand ballroom is thick with the scent of wealth, crystal chandeliers casting golden light over silk-draped tables, polished silverware gleaming under the dimmed lights, and champagne flutes clinking in delicate toasts. Everything here screams power, prestige, status. It's the kind of event where people like me, the discarded, the forgotten, aren't supposed to exist. Yet here I stand. 14 years should have erased me from their memories. In their minds, perhaps I vanished the moment they cast me out, just another burden they no longer had to carry. But now, standing in the center of this opulent wedding, dressed in a sleek black gown that hugs my curves just right, my hair swept into an elegant updo, I know one thing for certain: they weren't expecting this. And that, in itself, makes this moment all the sweeter. I let my gaze sweep across the stunned faces. My mother, still cold and unyielding, her manicured nails clutching her champagne glass like it might shatter in her hand. My father, pretending not to see me, though the twitch of his jaw betrays his discomfort. And then there's my sister Elle, the golden child. She looks me up and down, her face a twisted mix of confusion and irritation, as if my mere presence is spoiling her perfect day. "Good. You're not supposed to be here," she snaps, her voice just loud enough to draw the attention of the nearby guests. "Who even invited you?" I don't flinch. "Hey, don't cower," I smile. "That's funny," I say, tilting my head slightly, because I distinctly remember receiving an invitation. Until now, Elle's fiancé, Daniel, had been silent, but suddenly he steps forward, brow furrowed as if trying to place me. Then his face loses all color and his mouth falls open, but no words come out. He looks like he's seen a ghost. "Wait, this woman is—" I take a slow, deliberate step closer, my heels clicking against the marble floor. "Do you really not know anything?" I murmur, watching his throat bob as he swallows hard. There's a beat of silence, then another. The wedding that was supposed to be flawless begins to unravel, thread by thread. 14 years ago, I can still remember the exact moment they threw me out. It was a cold night, the kind of chill that sinks deep into your bones, making every breath feel sharp. My father stood in the doorway, arms crossed, his face unreadable. My mother didn't even look at me, and Elle had been smirking. "You're a burden," my mother had said. "A waste of time, a waste of money. We've done enough for you." "But—" "No buts, Olivia," my father had interrupted. You're 18, an adult. Figure it out. And just like that, they shut the door on me, on my entire existence. I remember standing outside, fingers numb, my breath visible in the cold night air. I had nowhere to go, no money, no safety net, just the clothes on my back and the echo of their words in my ears. They didn't just abandon me. They erased me, and they never looked back. Present day, back at the wedding. But I looked back, not out of longing, not out of weakness, but to make sure that if I ever crossed paths with them again, I'd be the one standing tall. And now I see it. The panic setting in behind their eyes, the way my mother shifts uncomfortably, the way Elle grips her champagne flute just a little too tight. They know, they don't understand how, but they know I am not the same girl they threw away. "Excuse me." A voice cuts through the tense silence. A man in a tailored navy suit approaches, and I immediately relax. Ethan, my husband. He walks up beside me, placing a warm hand on the small of my back. The gesture is subtle but powerful, a claim, a reminder that I am not alone. "Is there a problem here?" Ethan asks, his voice polite but firm. Elle scoffs. "Who the hell are you?" Ethan doesn't blink. "Olivia's husband." Dead silence. Elle's fingers twitch. My mother inhales sharply, and Daniel looks like he might pass out. I bite back a smirk. They wanted me gone, forgotten, worthless. Instead, I came back richer, Danielger, untouchable, and this is just the beginning. I learned long ago that survival isn't about strength, it's about strategy. That's why when they threw me out 14 years ago, I didn't just walk away. I started preparing. Back then, I had no power, no voice, no safety net. I had nothing but a bitter, hollow ache in my chest and the echo of their last words ringing in my ears. Figure it out. So I did. And while they carried on with their perfect lives, assuming I disappeared like an inconvenient stain, I was watching, listening, collecting, because one day I knew I'd have my moment. And tonight, that moment is now. 14 years ago, the night everything changed, the night I walked away, I had exactly 17,028 in my pocket, not even enough for a motel room. For 3 days, I slept in the back of a rundown diner, curled up near the dumpsters where the heat from the kitchen vents kept the worst of the cold at bay. The owner, a sharp-eyed woman named Betty, eventually caught me. Instead of calling the cops, she tossed me a broom and said, "If you're going to hang around, at least make yourself useful." That was my first break. By the end of the week, she let me crash on an old cot in the back storage room. By the end of the month, she started paying me under the table, and within a year, I was saving every cent because I had a plan. Even then, I knew I wouldn't stay in that small town forever. I wasn't going to be another girl stuck washing dishes for minimum wage while my family lived off the privilege they never earned. No, I was going to become someone they could never ignore, someone they would never expect. So, while Elle played the part of the golden child and my parents basked in their illusion of a perfect family, I worked. I studied. I learned. By the time I was 20, I had earned a scholarship to a business program. By 23, I was interning at a startup, and by 27, I had founded my own company, a medical nutrition brand that within just a few years became a multi-million-dollar industry disruptor. They never knew. I never told them. They didn't deserve to. Back to the present. Inside the wedding hall, I can still feel their eyes on me, my mother's cold gaze dissecting me, the same scrutiny she'd always used when I was a child, searching for flaws, for weaknesses. Elle's controlled smirk, as if she believes this is all just some fluke, that I somehow stumbled into wealth by sheer luck. And then there's Daniel, Elle's fiancé, the man who paled the moment he saw me. I've seen that look before, recognition, fear, guilt. "Interesting, Olivia," Ethan murmurs beside me, his voice low, a quiet warning. "You sure you want to do this?" I glance at him. My husband, the only person in this room who truly understands who I am, what I'm capable of. His dark eyes flick between me and Elle's family, already sensing the tension in the air. I smile. "Oh, I'm sure," Elle scoffs, rolling her eyes. "Seriously? You expect us to believe you're some kind of success story? Please, you couldn't even make it through college. I tilt my head, feigning curiosity. Oh, is that what they told you? A flicker of hesitation, just for a second, then she straightens her shoulders. I don't need to listen to your lies. I'm the one who went to medical school. I'm the one who drops out. I interrupt, voice calm, calculated. The entire room stills. Elle's expression freezes just for a fraction of a second before she recovers, face twisting into something defensive. What are you talking about? I step closer, my heels clicking against the polished marble floor. The guests are watching now, sensing the shift in the air, the crack forming in the carefully curated image of the perfect bride-to-be. You never finished school? I say softly. You never even got close. You flunked out before you could even apply for your residency. Her nostrils flare. That's not... Oh, but it is. And I reach into my clutch and pull out a single sheet of paper, neatly folded. I unfold it with deliberate care before holding it up, just enough for the people closest to us to see. Elle's academic record, a record that shows in black and white that she failed out of her program 3 years ago. I watched the blood drain from her face. Daniel turns to her, confusion and something dangerously close to betrayal in his expression. Elle, what is this? It's fake, she hisses, voice rising slightly. She's lying. I know it, and I'd bet anything that deep down Daniel here knows it too. He doesn't deny it. He's still staring at the paper, his jaw tightening, realization settling over him like a slow-moving storm. My mother steps forward, her voice clipped. You've always been a spiteful child, Olivia, to ruin your sister's wedding like this. Oh, I'm just getting started, I say, flashing her a sharp smile. After all, if we're talking about ruined lives, why don't we discuss the financial fraud case being built against the Moore family clinic? Silence. Complete, utter silence. I let that revelation sink in, watching as the weight of my words crashes over them. What? What are you talking about? My father finally says, his voice quieter now. Gotcha, brow. Oh, you didn't think I knew? I shake my head, a mockery of disappointment. You should have been more careful, Dad. Embezzlement, insurance fraud, falsifying patient records. All those little details you thought would never come back to bite you. I lean in, lowering my voice just enough that only he can hear me now. You didn't think anyone would find out, did you? His face goes white. This is it, the moment I've been waiting for. For years, I've held on to these pieces of evidence, waiting for the right time, not out of malice, not out of spite, but because they told me to. Because when you've spent your entire life being underestimated, ignored, discarded, you learn patience. You learn to gather your ammunition, to sharpen your blades in silence, so that when the moment finally arrives, you don't just fight back. You burn everything they've built to the ground. And tonight, I am the reckoning they never saw coming. The air is thick with tension. Elle stands frozen, her perfect facade beginning to crack under the weight of my words. My father stiffens, his fingers twitching at his side. My mother's lips curl into a sneer, more outraged by my mere presence than by the truth unfolding before her. And Daniel, he hasn't said a word. His gaze flickers between me and the paper I just handed over. His face pale, the color draining as the reality of it sinks in. I can see it. The split-second panic in his eyes, the way his throat tightens as he swallows, the subtle twitch of his hand at his side. He knows I'm telling the truth. But then just like that, the moment shifts. Elle straightens her back, lifts her chin, and suddenly bursts into laughter. Not the nervous, broken kind of laugh that comes when someone is trapped in their own lies. No, this is different. It's mocking. Oh my God, she breathes, shaking her head as if she can't believe what she's hearing. This is actually hilarious. My stomach tightens, not from fear, no, that's long gone, but because I recognize this move. I know exactly what's coming. She's about to do what she does best. Gaslight, manipulate, and lie until she bends reality itself. Elle glances around the room, making sure she has an audience, and then turns back to me, her lips curling into a smirk. Seriously, Olivia? You're trying to ruin my wedding with this? She gestures vaguely at the document in Daniel's hands, dismissing it like it's nothing more than trash. This pathetic attempt to make yourself relevant? God, you're even more desperate than I thought. I don't react. I won't give her that satisfaction. She steps closer, lowering her voice just enough so only I can hear. You think you're so clever, don't you? She murmurs, her breath dripping with condescension. You think you can just waltz in here and destroy everything I've built? She leans in further, her smirk widening. I always knew you were jealous of me. Ah, there it is, the old familiar accusation, the one they always used to justify every cruel thing they ever did. Jealous? I echo, raising an eyebrow. Of what exactly? Oh, come on. Elle rolls her eyes. Look at my life. Look at me. I have everything you don't. A successful fiancé, a loving family, a future you could only dream of. Meanwhile, you. What are you? Just some sad, bitter woman who's so desperate for attention, she has to show up here like this. She chuckles under her breath. God, it's pathetic! The word hits me like a ghost from my past. I remember being 16, sitting at the dinner table while Elle basked in our parents' praise. I remember hearing that word whispered behind closed doors when they thought I couldn't hear. I remember the way they said it with certainty, as if my failure was written in stone. Pathetic. But they don't know that I stopped listening to their words years ago. I smile, a slow, deliberate thing, and tilt my head. Tell me, I say, voice calm, steady. If I'm so irrelevant, why do you look so nervous? Her smirk falters just for a fraction of a second, but I see it, and so does Daniel. His fingers tighten around the paper, his brows furrowing. He's still staring at it like it's a bomb waiting to detonate. Oh, his voice is quiet, controlled. Is this true? Elle's entire demeanor shifts. She turns to him, her expression softening, molding itself into something carefully crafted, a look of hurt, of betrayal, of wounded innocence. Daniel, babe. She reaches for his arm, voice dripping with sweetness. You're not seriously believing her, are you? It's Olivia. You know how she is. She's always been like this, twisting things, making up stories just to make herself feel important. Gaslighting again. I watch as Daniel exhales, his jaw clenched. He wants to believe her. I can see it in the way his shoulders tense, in the hesitation in his stance. He wants her version of reality to be true. But doubt, real, tangible doubt, has already taken root. And my father, he's had enough. There's enough of this nonsense, he snaps, stepping forward with an air of authority. You've ruined this night. Enough, Olivia. Take your lies and get out. Lies? I inhale deeply, then exhale, slow, controlled. Are you sure you want to do this, Dad? I ask, my voice eerily calm. He scoffs. Do what? Deny reality? I tilt my head, watching the muscles in his jaw tighten. Because I can assure you, if we go down this road, you're not going to like where it leads. Elle scoffs. Oh, give me a break. You don't have anything on us. I chuckle, a real, genuine laugh. You're right, I say, shrugging. I don't have anything except for, I don't know, 14 years worth of evidence. Silence. Elle's face twists in disbelief. What? I let my eyes drift across the room, my voice light, almost conversational. Did you really think I left empty-handed? I muse. That I just disappeared without a trace? I reach into my clutch, pulling out a sleek black USB drive. You see, Elle, I continue, toying with the device between my fingers, while you were busy playing the perfect daughter and Mom and Dad were busy pretending I never existed, I was collecting things. I lift the USB drive slightly. Bank statements. Elle's breath catches. Emails. My father stiffens. Legal documents. My mother actually gasps. I smile. Shall I go on? The shift in the room is unmistakable. It's the moment when the prey realizes the predator has been lurking, unseen, all along. Elle's bravado slips. My father's confidence falters. My mother, for the first time since I entered this room, looks genuinely afraid. They know. They finally know. They thought they'd won, believed they had me cornered. But now, standing amid the ruins of their arrogance, staring at the woman they thought they'd broken, they see the truth. I didn't just return to remind them of their betrayal. I came back to destroy them. The silence hangs heavy, thick with tension. Elle stands rigid, her hands gripping so tightly her knuckles turn white. My father, once the very definition of control and power, now seems small. And my mother, always the picture of grace and superiority, has lost all semblance of composure. I can almost hear the frantic scramble in their minds, searching for an escape, a way out. But there is none. I built this trap, and now it's sprung. Elle forces a laugh, but it's brittle, desperate. "This is a joke," she says, shaking her head. "You're bluffing. You've got nothing." I tilt my head, the USB drive still twirling between my fingers. "Are you really willing to gamble your entire future on that?" Daniel, who has been eerily silent up to this point, suddenly snatches the drive from my hand. His movements are frantic, as if holding it will somehow erase its contents. "What the hell is this?" he demands, glaring at Elle, though he refuses to listen to her. "Don't listen to her," Elle stammers, panic creeping into her voice. "She's lying, Daniel. She's always been jealous of me. She just wants to ruin our wedding." I cross my arms, watching the scene unfold, my gaze cold and calculating like a director enjoying the crescendo of a masterfully executed play. "Go ahead," I say, my tone dripping with ice. "Plug it in. See for yourself." He hesitates, his internal battle visible in his eyes. He already knows. He's known for a while now that Elle has been deceiving him. But now he has the proof. His face hardens. Without another word, he strides over to the DJ booth, yanking his laptop from behind the sound system. Elle panics, her voice rising in desperation. "Daniel, stop!" she shrieks, lurching forward, but it's too late. The screen flickers to life as Daniel inserts the drive. His eyes scan the contents, and then his entire body stiffens. The blood drains from his face. His jaw tightens in disbelief. I watch the exact moment when he understands the truth, and in real time, Elle starts to crumble. "Daniel," she pleads, her voice shaking. "Whatever she's showing you, it's not—" "You lied to me." His voice is cold, final. Elle recoils, shaking her head. "No, I didn't." "You lied to me." His voice booms loud enough to stop the entire ballroom. The guests who had been whispering, pretending not to overhear, now stare openly. Elle reaches for him, grabbing his arm desperately. "Daniel, please, He pulls away from her touch as if she's contaminated, his breathing ragged, his shoulders heaving with each harsh inhale. His eyes lock on the screen as he scrolls through years of falsified documents, insurance fraud, and irrefutable evidence that Elle never graduated from medical school. My father steps forward, panic flickering behind his eyes. "Daniel, listen! Shut the hell up!" For the first time, my father, the arrogant, controlling patriarch, freezes. Daniel stands, his entire body shaking with fury. His hands bowl into fists at his sides as he glares at Elle, then at my parents. "You played me," he breathes. "You all played me." My mother lifts her chin. "Daniel, sweetheart, you're overreacting. You and Elle are meant to be together." "Meant to be?" He laughs, but there's no humor in it. It's the laugh of a man who realizes he's been made a fool of. "I was going to marry you," he hisses at Elle. "I defended you, I trusted you, and the whole time you were just some spoiled little fraud." Elle bursts into tears, but it's too late. The damage is done. "You're not a doctor!" Daniel spits pure venom in his voice. "You're nothing!" And then he rips off his wedding ring and hurls it at her feet. The room erupts. Guests murmur, scandalized. Gasps ripple through the crowd as Daniel marches toward the exit, his entire future destroyed in a single moment. Elle sobs, sinking to the floor in her designer gown, shaking. But it's not just the wedding that's crumbling, it's everything. because Daniel wasn't the only one watching. The USB drive was only one piece of the puzzle. I turned to the crowd, my gaze landing on a well-dressed older man standing near the back, the hospital director where Elle claimed she worked, a Peterson. I call out. He visibly stiffens. The guests turn to him, suddenly connecting the dots. You might be interested to know, I say, voice casual, that one of your so-called medical professionals is actually a high school dropout with no real qualifications. Murmurs spread like wildfire. Dr. Peterson's face reddened as he glares at my father. You told me she had her degree! My father, now visibly sweating, stammers. We can fix this. It's not... Not what? I interrupt Stefan, closer. Not fraud? Not a felony? Dr. Peterson swears under his breath. I trusted you more. You said your daughter was... She's not my daughter! My father suddenly shouts, desperate. Now, she's nothing to me. The entire ballroom fell silent for a moment. Even I'm surprised, but then I smile because he just made the final mistake. I figured as much, I say smoothly. And I have to say, that's an interesting statement to me, considering you've been using my identity for tax fraud for the past decade. Dead silence. My father blanches. My mother stiffens. I drop the final bombshell. That's right. I had my identity checked recently. Imagine my surprise when I found out that someone's been using my social security number to file fraudulent tax returns to launder money through a certain family-run clinic. The hospital director snaps his fingers at his assistant. Call the legal department now. My father opens his mouth, but I beat him to it. And just so you know, I add lightly, the IRS has already been informed. His face collapses. The room erupts again, this time with full-fledged chaos. Security steps forward. My father tries to speak, but Dr. Peterson cuts him off. Your career is over. Elle is sprawled on the floor, wailing, her makeup streaking down her face. My mother stands frozen, rigid, already knowing that there's no coming back from this. As for me, I stand there, watching, because this is what they deserve. This is justice, and I've never felt more powerful in my life. The ballroom is in turmoil. Whispers swirl, gasps echo through the air. Security moves in, and the guests retreat from my parents as if fraud might be contagious. Elle is still sobbing, mascara running, broken. Daniel, the perfect fiancé, storms out, dragging the shards of his shattered trust behind him. I should leave. I should feel satisfied, but I don't move. Not yet. For years, I've dreamed of this moment, of standing here, not as the girl they abandoned, but as the woman they never saw coming. And now, as I watch their world unravel, I feel it. The final severing of every thread, every connection that once held us together. My father, who once looked at me with nothing but disappointment, now meets my gaze with something new, fear. My mother, always the cold, calculating one, looks lost, grasping for words she can't find. And Elle, the golden child, the one who always won, is on her knees. It's delicious. Elle looks up at me, desperation in her eyes. Olivia, please. I let her plea hang in the air, savoring it because for the first time I hold all the power. I tilt my head, considering her words. Please, I echo, my voice smooth and cold. That's interesting. I don't remember you ever saying that when you stole everything from me. She flinches. I don't remember you saying that when you stood by as they threw me out. I continue, my voice cutting. Tears slip down her face. I was young, You didn't care, I finish for her, my tone sharp. And neither do I. Her lip trembles. She knows she's lost. My father snaps back to reality, his face contorted with rage. You think you're better than us now? He spits, venom in his words. Just because you made some money, you think you have the right to humiliate your family? I laugh, a real, genuine laugh, because it's so absurd. This man, this fraud, still clinging to his ego as though it's armor when he's already lost everything. You stopped being my family a long time ago, I say evenly. And as for being better than you, I step forward, locking eyes with him. I don't have to think it. I know it. I smile, and the satisfaction is overwhelming. Security finally reaches them. Dr. Peterson is already on the phone, making sure my father's medical license is revoked. The IRS won't take long. Elle, her friends, her colleagues, everyone is turning away, distancing themselves as her perfect life turns to ashes. I take a deep breath, letting the weight of it settle in, and then I turn my back on them. I walk away, stepping over the discarded engagement ring glinting on the floor, past the stunned onlookers, past the remnants of a life I once wanted to be part of. Ethan is waiting for me by the doors. He doesn't ask if I'm okay. He doesn't need to. He just knows. His fingers brush mine, a quiet anchor, a silent promise. I squeeze his hand, and together we leave. Outside, the night is cool, crisp. The city hums around us, unaware of the wreckage we just left behind. Ethan glances at me, brow raised slightly, his mouth twitching. "Cake?" he asks, a small grin tugging at the corners of his lips. I blink, startled, then laugh. A deep, uninhibited laugh, freeing. "Yes," I say, still grinning. "Let's get some cake." Because tonight isn't about them, it's about me. And for the first time in my life, I feel light. Revenge wasn't the point. Freedom was. And now I am finally completely free. What do you do when the people who once tossed you aside like trash are now the ones who are left picking up the pieces? Do you let them pretend they've won, or do you remind them exactly who you are? Olivia's story is one of resilience, patience, and strength. For years, her family treated her as worthless, casting her out with nothing but a few cold words. But instead of crumbling, Olivia took the opportunity to build something far beyond their comprehension. She became a self-made success, all while keeping her eyes on the prize, the moment when she would stand tall in front of the family that had abandoned her, and that moment came at her sister's wedding. It wasn't just about showing up, it was about showing them how far she had come, how much she had accomplished, and how little their opinions truly mattered now. With a simple smile and a few carefully chosen words, Olivia turned their perfect little world upside down. What they saw as a foolish, unwanted girl had become a powerful woman who wasn't afraid to expose their secrets. So, what do you think? Was Olivia right to take this moment to bring her family down, or do you think she could have handled it differently? Have you ever had a moment where you got the chance to stand up to those who once hurt you? Let's talk about it in the comments, and if you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more.